Okay, welcome everyone to a Nod ladder deck. I couldn't remember if I'd made a video about this deck yet, but this is pretty much the only interesting thing that's happened in Rivals in like probably a couple of years. In terms of deck innovation, this is like the only thing that's come out that's new and actually shows up. Ever. So anyway, basically the deck is... It's a classic, like, Nod is overpowered deck, by which I mean that it's a deck that clearly is way better against Nod than GDI, but it doesn't matter that you're bad against GDI, because Nod is so much better than GDI, you just win anyway. That's generally how it works. We saw a similar thing happen in the Shade meta, where we had, like, triple Nod Air, which was bad against Pitbull, but it didn't matter, because Nod was so much better than GDI, you could just beat GDI by being Nod. This is kind of the same thing. Apparently, I'm being told by chat it's Fronteira who invented the deck. I don't know if that's true, but he definitely is a guy who's been playing it for a very long time. Yeah, so effectively the deck, it's good versus Nod because you have like laser drones and mutants and Chuggy, and essentially you're mutant Chuggy but with laser drones for enemy tanks, because that's the thing that mainly beats mutant Chuggy. And then against GDI, you're just like, I'm just going to spam bikes and mutants because GDI just has no good way to deal with them, especially mutant. Like GDI anti-infantry is pretty bad in this meta game, so they just can't really beat mutants at all. They can only beat mutant Chuggy when they have Predator, and then you just have laser drone for that. So yeah, I'm going to be playing it. Ensorga's been playing it a lot as well. I just wanted to show you guys this deck because it's pretty much the only like new thing to come out in Rivals for a while. I personally despise this deck. I absolutely hate playing against this deck because it is just the epitome of I'm going to spam cheap annoying units. It's kind of the evolution of like Jump Jet Talon. You know how like GDI players for years just played like Jump Jets and Talons and Drone Swarms and would just throw cheap unblockable units at pads forever? This is kind of doing the same thing. You just have like laser drones and bikes that you can spam at the pads forever, and Chuggy that can clean up infantry if there's ever one there. Like, it's just a lot of units that can rush at a pad, kill things quickly, and then, you know, it's very hard to ever secure a victory against it. It also has Oksana boosted mutants, which are like really hard to deal with. If they just randomly come out of nowhere, then any vehicle you have on that pad gets slaughtered. So yeah, deck is... I hate playing against this deck. I really hate playing against this deck. The thing that absolutely smashes this deck... We've seen this deck... I saw this deck a few times in the tournaments. Any of you guys who watched the World Champs will probably have seen this. The thing the deck really struggled with Mohawk. Like, the deck basically can never beat Mohawk, because it only has bikes and Phantom that shoot up. So what happens is Mohawk slaughters your bikes, and then you have to save up ages for a Phantom, and then your Phantom doesn't even one-shot the Mohawk. So it's just really bad against Mohawks. Like, it basically just auto-lose to Mohawk. However, nobody plays Mohawk. Like, Mohawk is not a popular unit in the metagame at all. It's actually an incredibly unpopular unit in the metagame, because it just loses instantly to Stealth Tank, and Stealth Tank is quite popular. So basically no one plays the unit that smashes this deck, which is why the deck is able to succeed at all. Anyway, as you can see, we can open Rifle. I actually think most of the time people open Bike Squadron with this deck. That's like the most common opening I see is actually a Bike Squadron, not a Rifleman. But you do have a 10-cost unit, so you are able to open a 10-cost unit if you want to. And then you can basically just play Mutant Chuggy when Mutant Chuggy is good. Obviously Mutant Chuggy, incredibly powerful combination. Not only is Mutant Chuggy a very powerful combination, but there's not a huge number of things that really smash Mutant Chuggy. The main thing that really crushes Mutant Chuggy is tanks, and that is why the deck has laser drones, so that you have an out to tanks. I've seen people like playing various different things in Mutant Chuggy, like Kane, to try and have outs to tanks, but laser drone is the easiest thing to switch into. It's cheap, it's very hard to get punished. Like, if your laser drones die, you just don't care because they cost nothing. So it's really hard to get punished making them against the tanks, and you can just keep throwing them at tanks until eventually the tank goes away, and then you can play Mutant Chuggy again. Also, another upside of Mutant Chuggy, it's just one of the easiest decks in the game to play. Like, it's so easy to play Mutants and Chuggies. They like, you just make them and you send them against things they're good against, and they just slaughter them. Like, you don't need any finesse when you're sending a Chuggy against infantry. You just drive it in and it fucking slaughters everything it touches. The only thing you ever need any finesse against is enemy mutants and occasionally Grens, but not really. And the same thing is true with mutants. There's basically no unit in the game you can't just walk a mutant up to and kill. Like, I mean vehicles, like things mutant is actually good against. You just make a mutant, you send it in, it's gonna do great. You don't need any fancy tricks. You don't need to micro well. You just make it and send it in, and it's great. I did this to you. Oh no. I actually think maybe people open bikes. I feel like most of the time people open bikes. It's so rare to get rushed these days that opening bike is pretty hard to get punished. It's another thing I hate about this deck. This deck is like ultra greedy because it opens Bike Squadron and it just has like all these hateful units in it. Just like Mutant, Chuggy, Laser Drone, like it's super annoying, super powerful units. Bike is obviously very strong. There's like no unit in it, like the worst unit in this deck is Laser Drone. And it's clearly there because it plays a specific role, right? Like the worst unit in the deck is Laser Drone, and it's there because it can kill tanks, which is the thing the deck is weakest to. It also kills like Giga Cannon, MLRS, but you have mutants for those things. Mutant is a pretty good answer to Giga. The very popular Giga deck as well is like Giga Chuggy, which folds to mutant spam. Like it's pretty bad against mutant spam. It doesn't completely fold to it, but it's pretty bad against mutant spam. Because it kills the Chuggy and the Giga Cannon reasonably effectively. Alright, so we obviously had to make some riffles to fight his riffles. We will make Chuggy now, but we don't really need to worry about it. We've got this missile. Opponent appears to be playing Chuggy Mutant. Usually the person who wins the Chuggy Mutant mirror is the one who makes more mutants. Because they just kill almost everything in the deck. I obviously have the option to switch into Laser Drones if I want to, but why would I want to? I can just play Mutant Chuggy. And that's fine. Like, I can just play Mutant Chuggy, play it as though it's a Mutant Chuggy mirror. If things go wrong, I have options, but otherwise I just play as though it's Mutant Chuggy mirror. So I'm just gonna make a lot of mutants. Oh, hello. I'm actually gonna push this hard, because I need to get rid of the obelisk so I can remake my Chuggy. Otherwise my next Chuggy's gonna get shut down if I don't clear the obelisk quickly. Alright, well, mutants lead the charge. They are very strong. It's basically just like a bunch of units that are kind of OP. Like, Mutant is kind of OP, Chuggy's kind of OP, Bikes are definitely OP. What else is in there? We've got Rifles, which is the best 10 cost unit. They are better than Wheels right now. And then you've got Laser Drones and Phantom. Phantom is definitely the best unit for anti-air in the whole game. And then you've got Laser Drones, which kind of suck. Laser Drones is definitely the weakest link to this deck. It is just there as a role player.
Mission accomplished. 3, 2, 1. New objective available.
I think I'll probably continue to go bike opening.
Building online.
The thing is, I wouldn't say Phantom is better than Stank at killing air units, that is for sure. But Stealth Tank has a role that it plays, and it does, like, Stealth Tank does the job Stealth Tank does better than Phantom does it. And the job that Stealth Tank does is killing enemy Phantoms and Hammerheads, and killing Mohawks. And it does that job dramatically better than Phantom. The thing is, there aren't that many decks that are in the market for a unit that does that. Most decks want their, like, 100 cost anti-air unit to kill enemy air units. That's like the main goal of most of the time. Like, usually people are playing 100 cost anti-air unit because they want to kill like Orca or Shade or Venoms or whatever. And Phantom does that better. Or Inferno. Inferno is a big one that people are looking to kill. And Phantom does that job better. So most of the time, Phantom is better. But it is not just like a strictly better unit. Like, Stealth Tank does better at the things Stealth Tank is good at. It's just that there isn't that much demand for the things Stealth Tank is good at. Most of the time people want to do the thing Phantom is good at. Mutants. Boosty mutants. This is going to be awkward because I'm pop capped. I'm going to go Rifles, but it might be correct to go... I'm wondering if it was correct to go Laser Drone here to get on something on the pad. I'm going to get a second Rifle. He's probably going to go Chuggy. At which point I need to go Mutant. He's going Boosted Rifle. Well, that was very unexpected. I guess I'll Chuggy now, I don't know. I'm a little concerned that his mutants are going to just hold the top against my rifles until the missile fires. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. His one mutant against a full rifle squad just held the pad for like the 5 seconds required. Mutants are an absurd unit. They're just so overstated. Like, this is basically... If a unit doesn't have like some special ability like Raider, you basically just have to have a gigantic pile of stats to make it playable. This is why a lot of tech units are so heavily overstated, I think. Because without, like, special abilities, you have to just be a giant bundle of stats to have any chance of being a competitive unit if you don't have something special going on. like radar or flying or burst, which mutants do not have. They have none of those things. Alright, enemy has laser drones. Laser drones obviously not great for me. Probably just gonna make a phantom. This might be a mirror match, actually. It looks like it might be a mirror match. I've seen no units from his deck that aren't in my deck. So yeah, probably a mirror match here. Oh, I forgot to kill his stuff. Whoops. Yo, I completely messed this game up. I forgot to kill these laser drones up top. Yeah, I completely cocked that one up.
Mission failed. 3, 2, 1. New mission received.
Time to harvest.
Building online.
Alright, I think we'll continue the bike openings.
Unit ready.
It seems like it's fine to open bike, honestly. The fact that I also think the fact that bike has slightly too high infantry damage, like the fact that you can harass rifles with bikes. Like in that last game, I just outright killed his first rifle squad with my bikes, which is kind of dumb. Like whilst fighting his bikes, just occasionally I got random shots off and used them to hit his his rifles and killed his rifles doing that. Like that's just kind of dumb. This game I probably should not have made the second bike squadron, but Chuggy might save the day. Chuggy's pretty broken. Yeah, Chuggy's pretty strong. This is the thing, if you ever go infantry, like the Chuggy is just such a massive punish. Like this guy made a bunch of lasers against my bikes, which seems on paper like it should be good, but then they just all die to Chuggy, and you're just like left losing the missile, because all of your units have died instantly to a chemical buggy. You can tell I'm definitely not practiced with this deck. Like, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Not really sure about, like, the tech switches and the transitions and when I'm meant to do what. Not sure what this guy's doing. Is he waiting for Inferno? Yeah, he's waiting for Inferno. That makes sense. Now, the thing about Inferno is you can just spam bikes at it, and that's pretty good. Like, the thing about a single Inferno doesn't get that much value usually in the early game, because what happens is they make the Inferno and then you just throw bikes at it until either it dies or you make it to a better solution. Because they have to kill the bikes, right? Like, if they don't kill the bikes, then the bikes hit them for a bunch of damage, because bikes do loads of damage. So they have to kill the bikes. But if they kill the bikes, then you have to reload, and then another bike shows up, and then by the time you reloaded, another bike is there, and you have to kill that one. And so on, until your Inferno is dead. Like, he made this Inferno to fight my mutants, and I still have my mutants. All that's happened is I lost a couple of bike squadrons I didn't care about, and now I have Phantom. So this is how you can stall out against an Inferno with bikes pretty comfortably. And then by the time the Phantom comes out, it's just all over.
Objective complete. 3, 2, 1. New objective received.
The amount of nod on the ladder is also insane.
Building online.
Like, the nod is just better than GDI. I don't even think it's, like, crazy better than GDI. It's just... I mean, it is quite a bit better than GDI at the moment. But I don't think it needs, like... We don't need, like, massive overhauls to make it balanced. GDI just needs, like, a little bit of power. Just that the small differential leads to, like, pretty crushing gameplay. This guy is really sweatlording it with these bike wheel combo. Oh, a tank. Okay. We could just go laser drones. I think I'm probably supposed to go mutant though, or I could just fight it with triple bike. I think I'm just gonna go mutant. Mutant's so powerful. And if he's a tank deck, he probably goes flamer on the mutant. Oh no, wait, maybe this is a mistake. I'm thinking if he's a tank deck, he probably goes flamer against the mutant, but then I go Chuggy, and that's not good. Like, I don't want to be mutant Chuggy against flamer tank. That's exactly the that's exactly the wrong place to be. So yeah, I think I should have just gone straight into laser drones in retrospect. Yeah, it looks like I should have just gone straight into laser drones. Because you gotta remove the tank with the laser drones, and then once the tank is gone, you can use the Chuggy again. That's kind of the whole point of the deck. So yeah, this was a misplay. Definite misplay. Yeah, you can see how badly this went. Like, if I can't remove the tank, then I can't fight the flamers. So you have to go laser drone as soon as you see the tank to fight the tank, so that you can get the Chuggy out again, which is the most important part of the deck. Just still pretty unfamiliar with the play patterns of this deck. Not really sure why I'm going for his Harvester. I don't care about his Harvester at all. Let's make a second Harvester. That's probably a misclick. Yeah, he's putting it on the pad. It's definitely a misclick. Oh, he has laser drones. Laser drone in a tank deck is pretty unusual. What is happening here? Why is this unit over here? Okay, that was kind of a mess, but we won the missile. Definitely don't know what I'm doing with this deck still. Am I supposed to make a second chemical buggy? That doesn't feel right.
Unit ready.
I'm actually having to, like, think about my plays for the first time in a long time. I think it's just, like, normally when I play decks, I play combined arms, and, like, I try and identify what my correct unit composition should be in each matchup. But this deck doesn't feel like it plays that way. This deck doesn't feel like you're building a correct unit composition and then, you know, putting it on the pads in an appropriate manner. This deck feels more like a, I'm gonna throw shit forwards kind of deck. Like, I'm just gonna spam stuff. Just gonna spam things, and that's not really my playstyle, which might be why I hate this deck so much. Of course, my boy Roboto.
New objective available.
Remember when Drone Rush used to be a thing? Kind of, yeah. I think against GDI it makes sense to open rifles. Because if you open bikes and they open dogs, then you're just behind in the War Factory mirror, probably. Although, what do I do against these dogs? Laser drones are bad versus GDI. I think Mutant is, like, the best unit against GDI in this whole deck. Roboto very likely is playing Tank Shock, although he has a Solomon. Solomon in a Tank Shock deck would be really weird. I don't think Triple Dog is going to kill Mutants. I'm, like, reasonably confident about this. Like, dogs just don't have any DPS, so even if you get 3 of them, they just don't do shit. Yeah, okay, so we do have Shock. Is it Tank Shock? We're going to have to go Chuggy Mutant to start out with. And we're going to play on a single pad. Because we are not in a position to push right now. We're definitely going to be playing one pad, trying to hold it. Boost the Mutant, see if we can kill this thing in time. Yeah, it's slow. You're gonna try and flip me? It's annoying. Oh, he flipped it! There was nothing I could do about the flip if he timed it properly. Maybe I could have pulled all of my units off the bottom pad and make the stall happen again, but that would have been pretty difficult. That would have been quite difficult to time it correctly. So he's not a tank deck because he has Drone Swarm. Drone Swarm is quite good against Nod, as everyone knows. But Mutant is very good against GDI. GDI's anti-infantry is just so bad now. Like, since the nerfs to like Drone Swarm and Talon and Razorback, Oh, he does have a tank as well. Weird deck, man. Weird deck. I don't think I want to make a Phantom in this matchup. Phantom's not very good against drone swarms. But I will make laser drones for the Predator. Gonna send the mutants up top. Let's bring more laser drone down bottom. Sending the Chuggy top because I assume there's going to be anti. Oh right, it's drone swarms. I thought it was going to be shocks. That's annoying. Let's bring the mutant down, try and like intercept some things. And then I guess now might be an appropriate time for a Phantom. Because we have one bike down here, so Phantom volley plus the one bike. After one bike died, obviously. Okay, surely this is a win. Maybe? Send a bike up top, I guess. So dumb. So dumb. This is why not players hate drone swarm. Oh, where are you going, mutant? Oh my god, that misclick. Misclick might kill me. Nope, mutant still got there in time. And maybe GG? And GG. And this is a good example of how this deck kind of should be weak to drone swarms plus pit bulls. Because that like should be good against most of the stuff in my deck. But actually what happens is Nod is just so much better than GDI. Like that Nod can still win, even though that should be a really bad matchup for me.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, Roboto again.
Mission received. For the crystals. Building online. Unit ready.
I will never debate you though, Better Way, because that is the biggest waste of time of literally anything I've ever done in my life. Except maybe talking to Crazy P. Those two things are about on par. Waste of my life. Alright, so we know he's going to make the shocks. He might actually go straight drones. He did go shocks. Okay, so we need to go Chuggy, I suppose. It's going to be pretty tough to win this first missile. How are Roboto's shocks level 14? That's insane. Maybe this bite squadron was a mistake. Are my mutants gonna live long enough? No, because I fucked up my block. I actually should have won that missile. If I just blocked these dogs, I would have won. But I messed it up. This is another thing that like makes the deck kind of obnoxious to play against, especially as GDI. You can literally just tank with mutants against a missile firing. Like, mutants can usually live long enough to just tank out the duration of the final missile charge. Like, I messed that up. I should have won that. I should have won that missile, but I let his dogs onto the top pad. We're kind of low on stuff here. I guess we're going mutant. Like, theoretically, this should be a terrible matchup. Because he has drones and shock troopers to kill my mutants. And he has tank for my Chuggy, and he has Pitbull for the laser drones. So, like, really on paper, this matchup should be horrendous. But I've already won once in this matchup, because Nod is just that much better than GDI. Not going very well. Roboto may have solved the puzzle. I think going Drone Swarm was a mistake last time. He's actually way better off with the shots. Like, he just wants to play shock tank and then make pit bulls for the drones. Yeah, I messed up that first missile, which cost us the game.
Our base has been destroyed. 3, 2, 1. New objective available.
Yasser, pretty sure Yasser plays double half and then spams Wolverines.
Unit ready.
Which actually, my deck is real weak to a Wolverine. It's pretty funny how bad my deck is against a Wolverine.
Unit ready.
But we do need to charge pretty aggressively. Gonna block out his rifleman here.
Unit ready.
Can't remember what his deck is. I know he has like rifles and tech, but I can't remember what he does between rifles and tech. Probably some kind of air units. That's normally what people do. Like I'd expect an Orca. I actually need to lose a rifleman here, because if he makes an Orca next and I don't have any pop cap, it's pretty bad. I don't have lasers actually, so an Orca is just pretty bad in general. I guess we'll go bikes just in case. Maybe he just has nothing between rifles and tech. Maybe that's his strategy. No, it is Orca. No surprises there. The most common unit for GDI tech decks. We obviously need a Phantom. We're just gonna chill, wait for a Phantom. Oh wow, what was that lag? You see the bikes? Like, I'd already reselected my Chuggy by the time the bikes started moving. Need that Phantom, please. Where are you? There we go.
Unit offline. Unit ready.
Bring in our enemies. The weeds are wilted. Ready to wait.
The unbelievers will feathers move out.
There is definitely input lag going on. I don't know if that's like my internet or what, but maybe it's LD player, but yeah, there's definitely like some input lag happening.
Unit ready.
Here comes the Wolverine. Wolverine, as I said before, actually very good against my deck. Although it looks like the game's over, maybe? Question mark? Yeah, the game is in fact over.
You are victorious. 3, 2, 1. New objective.
Rick Grimes! Alright, we'll open rifle again because it's PDI.
Unit ready. Let's go.
What's he got? Nothing? Interesting. Fascinating opening from Rick here. Dog Squadron. I'm just gonna go Mutant.
What's needed?
Oh shit. That is pretty fast. That's a pretty fast shock trooper right there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this deck still. I don't know if it doesn't feel correct to go Chuggy, but I guess I have to. Maybe I'm just supposed to be opening bikes. Maybe that's the solution. That's probably correct, actually. Like, that's probably the thing, right? Bikes are so strong. You just open bikes even against GDI, and if they go War Factory, then you wait until they have multiple War Factory units, and then you make some mutants to punish. That's probably what I'm doing wrong with this deck. Alright, MLRS you can beat with Chuggy. You just wait till it fires, and then you move the Chuggy in, and then you move it out again. Wait till it fires, go in, kill the infantry. Move out again. Wait for it to fire, move back in, kill the infantry. Pretty much just keep doing this. Wait for it to fire, move these in. Oop, easy. And we also have laser drones if we need to tech switch. Like if we don't feel like this is working well enough, I can just go into the laser drones and use them instead. So yeah, MLRS not really that threatening for a Chuggy deck actually. Unlike Giga Cannon, which you literally can never fight in a million years with anything ever on the ground. Because you can at least bait the shots. Like with a Giga Cannon, it's the opposite. Like if you go in and try and bait the shot, it just makes it worse for you. So you have to like retreat constantly, which are so hard to kill a Giga Cannon with ground. Basically, I mean like on the right maps, it's just impossible. This is obviously one of the best Giga Cannon maps in the game. Although Giga Cannon I think is probably like, I mean Giga Cannon just kind of sucks on maps where it's bad. Kind of like a lot of two-range units. Are we going to kill this MLRS? I think we are. Yeah, cool. Get another chemical buggy. And I believe that's game over. Chuggy OP confirmed.
Objective complete. 3, 2, 1. New mission.
No, Alicia Destiny quit, so I don't think she's probably not the best player anymore. Raging Tron. I don't know if this guy's changed deck. Last time I played against him, he wasn't playing his MLRS deck, but he usually plays MLRS with shock troopers. Maybe I'll just try going really fast laser drones this time. Going mutant, I think actually, like I said in the last game, going bike opening is probably just correct. And then you can go from there for what you want to make as your next unit. Slingshot, yeah, okay. We'll get a mutant next then.
Awaiting orders.
We're ready to keep
The swarm awaits.
What's needed?
Scanning.
Unit ready. We fight.
Process IO.
Militia here.
Ready to
I'm
destroy.
guessing he's gonna make shots. Yeah.
What's needed?
Then I'll make Chuggy.
We're not like you. Get us closer.
It's gonna take a while for the Chuggy to come out though.
Swarm.
Stop looking at me. Unit ready.
Guard ready to win.
Mutant moving. Unit offline. Mutant on you.
The swarms.
There'll be no guard. Hear the green.
Unit ready.
The swarm has
Fight hard. Clean the green.
scanning. The swarm.
I think I can kill this thing with my double laser drones. Yeah. Cool. So he's playing the MLRS deck again.
Awaiting IO.
There'll be no
The Savior P6.
So we're gonna definitely be making mutants.
Unit offline.
And we're gonna probably just have to do mutant Chuggy and try and bait the shots like we did in the last game.
There'll be green. There'll be clean the guard. Be under fire. Ready to wait.
Unit ready.
Round up every loss.
There's Razorback as well. Okay, we need Phantom.
Ready to wait.
So it's kind of like the Endsorger deck.
We're not like
Maybe I'm just not making enough bikes. That is a pretty overpowered unit.
unit ready.
Phantom ready to engage. Good day to spread. Gardner on the move.
Unit ready.
Okay, attack. Revving the missiles will him the
Unit offline.
A hateful deck, man. GDI Fortress is just like the worst thing to play against in all of Rivals.
ready to wait the guard.
Oh my god, so many misclicks. I just lost the Phantom for nothing.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Is that an MLR? Is that an MSV as well? Ooh, game.
Major structural damage received. Unit offline.
Super fun for everyone playing.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Your command.
Unit offline. Moving. Unit ready. To their knees for the Brotherhood.
Loika ready to roll. No problem. Gonna brain him.
We're not distracted. Unit enhanced.
Loika rolling out.
Unit offline.
No chance.
Unit offline.
Burning. Spray in the wing. Greedy.
The Savior.
Your command.
Can't give us unity complete.
For the front advancing. Revving.
Unit offline.
Another misclick. Oh my god. Alright, I think we get him.
Unit offline. Unit offline.
Alright, that was a pretty difficult game. Luckily this map not great for the GDI Fortress. Okay, well there you go. There's a little showcase of the deck. Kind of only like 8-2, wasn't great, but I don't really understand how to play that deck. It's not really my jam. I kind of hate it. But I thought I'd show you guys that deck since it's like the only new and interesting thing to come out of Rivals in about a year. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you all next time.